Should Manchester United be signing Joao Neves? Now, there have been a lot of links recently in the media when it comes to Manchester United's interest in Benfica's Joao Neves. Now, Joao Neves is a very decent upcoming midfielder and possibly an even future star when it comes to the world of football, especially in European football. But this is a video where I wanted to make, talking everything we need to know about Joao Neves and should Manchester United actually be going for him. But as always, before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and comment down below your thoughts on Joao Neves and should Manchester United actually be going for him, or put in another player in the comments down below on a player you think Manchester United should be signing. So who is Joao Neves and what do we need to know about him? Well, Joao Neves is a deep lying central midfielder almost. He's not your traditional out and out six. For me, I see him more as an 8, and this is where the confusion kind of comes in, is why we're actually going in for him, and obviously we'll get onto that later in the video. But Joao Neves, obviously, he's a deep-lying central midfielder who can dictate possession really, really well, is brilliantly technically, and he's quite small, so that low centre of gravity helps with his technical traits. Obviously, he's very good at dribbling. He's very good at beating men one-on-one and dribbling through the midfield almost. And he's got a lot of composure as well for a midfielder, especially at his age. And considering that he's very aggressive when it comes to pressing as well, that kind of works out that he doesn't really get booked that often. He isn't reckless or anything like that. So he does have a lot of great traits that would be good for Manchester United. But he's also valued at £55 million. Now, this has been his breakout season for Benfica. We all know Benfica are brilliant when it comes to developing youth players. I mean, they've recently signed Alvaro Fernandez from Manchester United, who was on loan throughout the season. They've signed on a permanent deal for like £5 million. No doubt they'll be selling him at some point in the future for like 20, 30, 40 million pounds, because Alvaro Fernandez, I did really like in the youth setup. But obviously this is about Joao Neves, and 33 matches in the Portuguese league this season with 3 goals and 2 assists. So when it comes to stats, it's not high, and I'm not going to bore you with all the stats when it comes to like successful take-ons, dribbles and all that stuff, because for me them stats boring and I'm not personally interested in them stats. I just want to know if the player is going to be good for Manchester United or not. You don't really need to know about all them stats to see if they're going to be a good player or not. But again, if United do want to buy Joao Neves, for me as a fan, it is a bit concerning, a bit confusing to why we'd be going in for him, but we would have to spend big. We've already had a bid rejected of £51 million, so no doubt we're looking around easy mid-60s, possibly even £70 million when it comes to actually signing Joao Neves. But would this actually be a good signing? Now, it's no secret that Manchester United do need options when it comes to midfield, especially, but actually in the squad. And if we're going to be signing a player of Joao Neves' quality and price tag for so high, then he needs to be a starter, in my opinion. And when Manchester United have got a player already in Kobbie Mainoo, this is where I'm confused to say how would he actually fit into the team, because unless Erik ten Hag or whoever the new manager is, because that's just a whole issue in itself, but whoever's the manager who's supposed to be bringing in Joao Neves or who wants to sign Joao Neves, then they need to kind of find a way to use Kobbie Mainoo as well, because there's no chance in hell that Kobbie Mainoo gets dropped for Joao Neves, in my opinion. I mean, Kobbie Mainoo has been a saviour for Manchester United this season. I mean, you saw his FA Cup final performance. You've seen his performances throughout the season. He's without a doubt one of the best sparks and one of the best talents in all of Europe. I mean, he's in the top 10 for Golden Boy rankings, and Garnacho's in the top 3. United are definitely producing a lot of great talents at the moment, and Joao Neves is in that top 10. He's just above Garnacho, who is apparently ranked 2nd in all future Golden Boy rankings, whatever the ranking actually is. But Joao Neves, obviously, he is really good. But Kobbie Mainoo, this is the issue, because for me, Kobbie Mainoo isn't a 6. He's established himself as that 8. Yes, he can play as a 6, but that's what makes Kobbie Mainoo brilliant, because he's so versatile. He can play in multiple positions. But for me, as that ball progressing midfielder who can obviously dribble with the ball, who can carry the ball, who can also ping the ball, Kobbie Mainoo is perfect when it comes to that role. And this is why I'm saying, would it be a good signing? Yes, when it comes to quality and prospect, because Joao Neves is a very good player, like I've said. But I just don't think it's the right player we should be going for. So, like I said, unless the new manager or Ten Hag actually plays both players in a double pivot, I can't really see how he's going to fit in, because for me, Manchester United really need that standout six, someone who's tall, physical, brutal in that midfield. You need a Rodri, pretty much. And I know he's one of the best midfielders in the world, but you need that type of player like a Joao Polina or a Kimmich or a Manuel Ugarte from PSG. Like, there's quite a few players out there that we could be going for. And for me, Neves just makes me scratch my head at this signing. I mean, if we didn't have Kobe Mainoo, then go for it. Oh well, but I'm not also going to sit here and say that I've watched Joao Neves week in, week in, week out, because I haven't. He is a very good player, but from what the research I've picked up on, he does seem to be that kind of like a De Jong type player who can play as that six, but he's better at going forward. And we all know if we got Frankie de Jong instead of Casemiro, Frankie de Jong probably would have played in that midfield or in a double pivot. So maybe that's the way Erik ten Hag wants to play football. I'm not too sure. We just haven't seen it with the likes of Casemiro. So I am interested to see if we do sign him as well. But like I said, I just don't understand this signing if we do make it. It's like Mason Mount last season. We still had Eriksen, we still had Bruno Fernandes, and we still go in for Mason Mount. Mason Mount is not an 8. We all know that. I'm not being like hypnotized, what's the word, manipulated into thinking Mason Mount is an 8. We all know he's not. He's always been a 10 when he was playing for Derby or when he was playing for Chelsea. So when Bruno Fernandes is in the team, you know Mason Mount isn't going to get much game time. I mean, look what happened to Eriksen. Look what happened to Donny van de Beek. These players aren't going to get much game time because of how great Bruno Fernandes is. So with Joao Neves, like I said, unless he plays as either the 6 or in a double pivot, I don't really see how he's going to sign, because when it comes to the frame and style of play, he does remind me a bit of Kante when he was at Leicester early days in Chelsea. But like I said, I just look at it and I'm like, on the positions Manchester United, I think we should be signing. Neves doesn't fit into that criteria, and it's like the Elise situation. Both players, Elise and Neves, would completely transform Manchester United and make us brilliant. But for me, there's certain positions that are more a priority, is the way to put it. Like I said, a right-sided centre-back because we're losing Varane. A midfielder like Casemiro who can play that traditional 6 because we might be losing Casemiro, and his drop-off this season has been really, really disappointing. So for me, I feel like we should be signing our starting 6 and someone like Amrabat. We need 2 players in that position. And then obviously a striker who can support and help Rasmus Højlund. I mean, Ethan Wheatley looks like a great prospect, but for me, he either needs a loan or needs to be nurtured into the squad. Rasmus Højlund as well shouldn't be the starting striker for Manchester United. As much as I love him, I think he's a quality, promising player. I just feel like United need that either a backup or that first team quality who can challenge and offer competition to Rasmus Højlund. For me, Alvaro Morata of Atletico Madrid would be perfect for Manchester United. He's got a 12 million release clause. He's a multiple Champions League winner, I believe, and he's just a good player. So, and he's done great for Atletico Madrid this season. So for me, someone like Alvaro Morata would be brilliant for Manchester United. I know his history with Chelsea and stuff, but for Atletico Madrid, I think he's been a very good player. But I feel like that United and Ineos and Ratcliffe, whoever's in charge, needs to be very careful when it comes to summer transfers, because signings like this that aren't needed, because we don't even know what United's transfer budget is. So we need to be careful when it comes to big spending, and is it the right player and the right position, because we definitely need like coverage in the defence, midfield, obviously Neves is in the midfield, and up front we need multiple positions to be brought in this summer, and multiple players do also need to go. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this transfer window plans out, but at the speed Ineos are also working at, it is concerning, because yes, the transfer window isn't open yet, but there's been hardly any transfer rumours actually open. The Elise deal's gone completely quiet. We don't know what's happening with him. And Joao Neves, over the last few days, has been an emerging type of target and transfer rumour. But I just can't see him playing for Manchester United. But that's just my opinion. I'd take him at United all day long, like I said. But I just don't think he's the right type of player that Manchester United should be going for. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below if you made it this far into the video, or what you think of Joao Neves, and would he be a good fit for Manchester United. But anyway, thank you for watching. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.